This episode of Guitar Shop TV is brought to you by GuitarShopTV.com, the one-stop shop for passionate guitarists worldwide. Check them out on GuitarShopTV.com. Coming up on this episode, we'll chat with a true American rock icon, we'll investigate the mystery of the vanishing Rickenbacker guitars, and we'll take a closer look at the Bluesman Telecaster. I'm Brian Lippy, and this is Guitar Shop TV, your backstage pass to the movers and groovers of the guitar world, and the place to take your axe to the max. I had an opportunity recently to speak with John Scott of Bluesman Vintage Guitars. They're based in Spring Hill, Tennessee. And we talked about one of our shared passions, cool axes. We had a fascinating discussion, and here's what I learned about the Bluesman guitar line. Bluesman Vintage Guitars is a full-service custom shop that specializes in vintage guitar clones and restorations. According to the company, Bluesman Instruments offer high-quality parts combined with expert craftsmanship to deliver a boutique-quality guitar at a price anyone can afford. All Bluesman guitars feature quality hardwoods, hand-rolled fretboard edges, dressed and polished frets, and most feature vintage-style nickel hardware and a custom set of Smith's hand-wound pickups. Bluesman Vintage offers two main lines of guitars and basses, True Vintage and Vintage Custom. According to Bluesman, its True Vintage line are instruments that are clones of favorite classics from years gone by. All of the original specs are replicated just as Leo Fender would have wanted, resulting in an instrument that is virtually identical to a vintage collector's piece. I'm already lining up to get one. To learn more about this very interesting company, check out Bluesman on our website, GuitarShopTV.com. And let us know, have you bought one of these models? Did you like it, or were you disappointed? Let me know by posting your comment below the video, or send me an email at brian@GuitarShopTV.com. Ted Nugent, aka the Motor City Madman, is a true American rock icon who has sold a career total of over 35 million records worldwide. Renowned for his high-octane rock guitar as well as for his civic activism, Ted is still going strong as a performer and as a passionate fighter for personal liberties and freedoms. He's well known for his red-hot killer guitar solos, laid down on his signature axe, the Gibson Birdland. I caught up with Ted backstage recently before a truly awesome rock performance in Dallas. So, we're here at Guitar Shop TV, and we're thrilled to have rock legend Ted Nugent.
And I'd thrill right back at you. Good to see you, man.
Great to see you, Ted.
Now, do I glow in a guitar-infested arena or what?
Ted, I'll tell you, I've been a fan for your whole life.
Most of these guitars are my children.
Oh,
because I have an artificial insemination breeding ground back in Michigan, and all my birdlands are breeding furiously as we speak. I love the Gibson Birdland.
It is a beautiful thing.
What a beautiful thing. Did you see that picture of me surrounded by all those birdlands? I can hardly stand myself.
Oh my God.
That was just backstage. Actually, it was quite a monumental occasion. It was my 6,000th concert, which, by the way, is why I look like this. That's why I'm very tired. I did my 6,000th concert on the 4th of July in Detroit, which was 50 years to the year that I played Boogie Woogie and Honky Tonk with Joe Podorczyk from the Capital School of Music on Grand River at the Michigan State Fairgrounds. And Joe came up on stage and we played Honky Tonk again 50 years later. But I had all my birdlands, because I'm not being silly now, which I'm the master of, but at the moment I'm not going to be silly. When I'm surrounded by those instruments, as magnified by people that love my music, as multiplied yet again by those who taught me the music, there's a spiritual thing going on where you remember the licks, you remember Bo and Chuck, and you remember Dwayne, you remember Lonnie, you remember the influences, you remember Ed Sullivan Show, and you remember Howlin' and Muddy and Lightnin', you remember, and all of a sudden the guitars, then when you get on stage, they make you one with the instrument. You don't play the instrument. It's like a Zen, it's like an archery, my archery thing.
connection.
You don't shoot the bow and arrow, you are the path. And that's what, when you jam, that's what that is. I played bass for Chuck Berry. I played bass for Bo Diddley. I jammed in a little room with Jimi Hendrix and Mike Bloomfield and B.B. King and Rick Derringer and Eddie Van Halen and Billy Gibbons and Chris Duarte and Andy Timmons and Stevie Ray Vaughan. I've been blessed by B.B. King. I got to touch the man, the spirit of these virtuoso geniuses. So all I can do is sponge up that supremacy that they blessed me by allowing me to jam with them and carry it forth. But rock and roll and rhythm and blues could have only come from a free man who stood strong and individual.
Amen.
Self-evident truth rocks.
This is really, for our younger viewers, that is a powerful message.
Well, next to me, everybody's younger. But here's the most important message I can give your younger viewers.
Please.
My name is Ted Nugent, 61 years clean and sober, because a party couldn't include puking or dying. That's not a party. A party doesn't include the intentional destruction of your radar level of awareness. If I would have been high when I jammed with B.B. King, I would have missed the spirit. If I'd have been high when I jammed with Eddie Van Halen or Jimi Hendrix, I would have missed their spirit. The job is to be the best that you can be, put your heart and soul into every step you take in life, especially on the instrument of choice, and absorb the spirit of mankind and earth and put it into music and dance naked like an idiot. Hi, drive safely. It's so simple, it's stupid.
That is unbelievable.
Yowza.
Yowza. Ted Nugent.
My pleasure.
One and only. Thank you for being on.
God bless America.
That was great. Thanks for chatting with us, Ted. If you have a special artist you'd like to see interviewed on the show, simply let me know by posting your comment in the box below or email me at brian@guitarshoptv.com. Today's question comes from Christian L. from Woodside, California. Christian asked, I've always loved the look and sound of vintage Rickenbacker guitars, especially their solid bodies and, of course, their electric 12 strings. But I don't see them around much anymore. What's the scoop? Are they still considered collectible? Well, Christian, that's a great question. As you may know, Rickenbacker was the first electric guitar company to market electric guitars commercially. And they first introduced their electric Hawaiian lap steels and Spanish models in 1931. These are definitely collectible, but more for historic reasons than for actual playing. Due in part to their well-publicized association with the Beatles and the Byrds in the 1960s, many players have gravitated toward semi-hollow body models, especially the 300 series, and these are definitely collectible as well. For the most part, solid body Rickenbackers haven't played a big part in electric guitar history, and for that reason are less interesting to many collectors. Thanks for sending in your question. For having his question answered on the show, Christian receives 1 month's free membership to guitarshoptv.com. If you'd like a free month's access to the world's premier guitar membership site, and if you have a question you'd like to see featured on the show, simply post it in the comment box below or email me at brian@guitarshoptv.com. Well, that wraps things up for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Join me again next week and we'll turn the spotlight on the classic Guild Thunderbird. And we'll chat with JJ French of Twisted Sister. I'm Brian Lippy, and this is the show that takes your axe to the max.